I want to start this video off by apologizing. I, for the most part, try and nowadays make videos that have a little bit more substance and a little bit more content rather than just pumping out rambly discussion videos that are just 10 minutes of recording talking about something. I try and make sure that we have a little bit more effort put into our videos and try and not use clickbaity titles anymore and all that jazz. But if there was ever a change to discuss and ever a video to make a attention-grabbing headline for, this has got to be it. For those of you who don't know, this was an announcement that came out about 2 hours ago at 7:30. Riot announced two of the new Keystone runes that are coming out, Summoner Specialist and Hextech Freeze Ray. The new runes, for those of you who don't know, runes and masteries are being reworked, where Riot is removing the current rune and mastery system in favor of Keystone runes, where we're not going to have like the little RPG element, which is fine. You know, don't have to go through the talent tree of masteries and setting up your runes and everything. League isn't an MMO, and it's kind of understandable if Riot wants to get rid of that. Instead, they want to have like one Keystone thing that you can take. Similar to how current Keystone masteries work, one exciting thing that your champion has, and that when you have it, you know, you get to have this big impact in the game from this one thing rather than having to deal with all your runes and masteries, which, okay, you know, that's a fine change, perfectly fine. But these are the kinds of things we're going to get. And as it says here, be warned, this reveal is not for the faint of heart. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Summoner Specialist, you start with one Summoner Shard and gain an additional Summoner Shard each time you cast a Summoner spell. Swap a Summoner spell to a different one by exchanging 3 Summoner Shards at the shop. Additionally, gain 15% Summoner spell cooldown reduction. That's right, you can now change Summoner spells during the game. Ever wanted to take Ignite as a jungler without giving up Flash? No. How about taking Exhaust Ignite to win lane knowing you'll need Teleport later? Also no. Well, this one's for you. The thing that really irks me about this change is how it seems to show a complete disregard for how League of Legends has developed over the years. I feel like whoever came up with this idea at Riot has not played League of Legends for more than 3 years, for more than 2 years. I don't want to just shout personal insults, but this really feels like an idea that someone got at Riot that just didn't completely understand the game. Let me tell you guys a story. For those of you who don't know, back in 2010, Flash was a super overpowered summoner spell. It allowed you to dodge any incoming projectiles immediately when you used Flash. So, for instance, if you had a tower shot that was coming at you and about to kill you, you could Flash and the Flash would dodge that tower shot. That was kind of, you know, okay, that's kind of cool for tower shots, but it also worked on point-and-click stuns, which there were a lot of in League of Legends back then. Stuff like Tarek's old E or Sion's old Q, and this made it a super defensive summoner spell that everyone always took because it was so good. Now, Riot obviously nerfed that, and they also threw a few more nerfs later. People were talking about how Flash is such a terrible summoner spell because everybody always takes it, and it kills summoner spell diversity. I think this might be Riot trying to, like, fix summoner spell diversity. But I really don't think that's a problem that needs to be fixed. I mean, Flash eventually did receive some range nerfs in that nerf, and for the most part, it still is taken in 90% of situations, but, you know, there is some diversity now. You can take Teleport Ghost on Singed top lane, Ghost Smite on Olaf jungle. You know, every summoner spell is used. We don't have clarity anymore, do we? Like, Cleanse and Heal and Teleport and Ignite are all taken by one role or another. And I don't even know. Why is this happening? League of Legends has been balanced around summoner spells. Like, do you guys realize that? Like, League has been balanced around summoner spells over the years. You go into the game with a strategy based around the summoner spells you take, and you sort of go through the game and I mean, I thought plants were bad. Plants at least, okay, so I got to calm down and gather my thoughts here. The thing that really irks me about this change is it feels like something that just is going to completely change the way that League of Legends has been played. Other changes that Riot has thrown at us in the past, stuff like plants, build off of existing concepts that we all understand in League, right? Like the plants the Blast Cone and the Vision Plant, the Scrying Orb. Blast Cone is something that gives you additional movement throughout the jungle. You know, the ability to move throughout the jungle. Some champions already have the ability to hop over walls, like Nidalee with her pounce. The Blast Cone serves as a way for you to continue moving around the jungle in new ways, so you can maybe dodge wards or get to certain places faster or slower. And then, you know, maybe in a team fight you can use it to get away, and then it feels like it's kind of frustrating. But it's movement, right? Jumping over terrain is something we all already understand. Same deal with the Scrying Orb, getting vision of wards, making sure that you see where the enemy has vision, or checking to see if certain buffs are up. Same deal with Honey Fruit, having a little bit of sustain. Changing summoner spells in-game is not something that anybody has ever asked for in League of Legends, and that completely changes how you play the game. I mean, imagine a Renekton top lane who, he starts off with one summoner shard. Let's say he takes Doran's Blade or a long sword and then goes Flash Ignite, gets an early kill, recalls back to lane, buys Teleport with his 3 summoner shards from using 2 summoner spells plus his starting summoner shard, teleports back to lane, and then just suddenly wins the game. I mean, I already thought that Renekton had an oppressive laning phase that was really strong. I mean, are you considering that at all, Riot? Like, are you considering all of the multitude of strategies that people are going to pull out of their ass? Because now it's going to be like the Wild West. Like, it's actually going to be like the Wild West, where League has been balanced around certain summoner spells, and summoner spells have been integrated into champions' kits, right? A Lee Sin player knows he can insect his ultimate by starting the ult animation and then flashing behind, and you know, even though Lee Sin has a lot of movement in his kit with his Q and W already, Lee Sin players know they're going to take Flash because they can do cool movement things with their ultimate and all people into their team for team fights and all sorts of stuff like that. Like, people already have ingrained strategies with the summoner spells that they have in game, and it feels like this just changes all of that. How are you possibly going to balance out the game and balance out champions with strategies when you suddenly throw such a curveball that anyone can get any summoner spell at any point in the game, as long as they use their summoner spells more often to get their shards or whatever? I mean, this really sounds insane. The second Keystone Mastery is also one that I kind of have a problem with. I don't know what the slow percentage is on Frozen Mallet, but this is just like a Frozen Mallet, right? You get a champion, you get a slow for 1.5 seconds from every auto attack, or from your first attack, that has an 8-second cooldown, I assume, at level 1, and a 3-second cooldown at level 18. I mean, I already feel like Frozen Mallet is a cancer item that's annoying to deal with. Does this look fun to you, man? This Teemo just slowing everybody? I can't get away from him already as it is. I didn't think this is what Keystones were going to be. It really feels like Riot is not considering the balance and strategy that currently exists in League of Legends. I've played the game since 2010. I played League of Legends since October of 2010, almost 7 years at this point. And despite the fact that the game has changed in many preseasons and has changed in many ways with all sorts of updates, generally speaking, every single update since I started playing, every single update has built off of existing concepts in League of Legends. Sorry for the dog toy. Every single update has built off of existing concepts. The idea of gaining vision for your team. The vision changes with oracles being removed, or with pink wards and vision being reworked. That's all changes relative to how you gain and control vision throughout a map in League of Legends. How you clear wards, how you gain vision, how you place your own wards. I mean, okay, maybe removing oracles was a big deal. Oracles, for those who don't know, used to be a 400 gold item that you bought, where once you had it, you got vision of everything invisible all the time until you died, then you lost it. I mean, that was something that was a pretty ingrained item into players' minds. Like, players use that very frequently at the competitive level and in solo queue, and the removal of it really changed how the game worked in a major way. But it was still an understandable change, because you were changing an existing concept, the idea of gaining vision of invisible wards and invisible enemy units, and being able to see certain things and gain vision control of certain areas of the map. That was an existing concept. League of Legends is not balanced around the ability to have every single summoner spell at any point in the game. Being able to take any combination of summoner spell at any point in the game, League is not balanced around that. Every single champion has a certain strategy and can have maybe even multiple strategies based on the summoner spells that they take, and the game is not balanced and players are not used to playing around with this idea. I really want to give Riot the benefit of the doubt here. I really like Riot. For the most part, I feel like you could give, I was just saying on stream earlier today, like League of Legends would be in such a worse state if it was owned by any other company, you know, Blizzard or EA or Bethesda or Ubisoft. If any other company made League of Legends, it would be in a worse state than Riot. I really like Riot and a lot of things that they've done to the game, even, you know, trying to give them the benefit of the doubt with some changes, but this is one that I just cannot fathom who came up with this idea and why. Why? This is completely changing the game in a way that it's not just changing existing concepts. I thought plants were bad. I wish I didn't complain so much about plants, man. Anyway, I'm sorry for this video. I hope you guys found it interesting. Go ahead and feel free to leave your own opinions in the comments down below. Maybe Riot will... maybe this isn't as bad as I thought it will be, or as I think it will be. Maybe it won't change the game in such a drastic way, or I don't know. Anyway, though, sorry for the rambly video. If you want to see an actual video, you can watch our con video that we just put out today. I'll probably link it in the description. But I'll see you all soon. Hopefully. Oh, boy. Come on, Riot. Come on. Okay, anyway, though, thank you very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue and have a wonderful day.